Not long ago, I was a young woman just 20 years old, certain I understood life. I thought marriage was simple, just a piece of paper. But I soon learned it was far more than words. Marriage is work for two hearts, a constant effort to build and protect love. I married Omar, a kind and patient man, a little older than me. We didn't have enough money to buy our own home, so one day he suggested, "Let's stay with my mother for a short while. We can save, then find our own place." I agreed with my lips, but inside I was angry. I valued my freedom and didn't want to live with my mother-in-law. Her name was Salma. She was over 60, wore plain clothes, walked slowly and spoke softly. Every morning, she gave me a shy smile and greeted me warmly, calling me my daughter. She tried to be kind, but I refused her kindness. A friend once told me, "If you don't show strength from the start, your mother-in-law will control you. Show her you're the boss." So I decided to act cold and distant. I washed her clothes last, let her bed go uncleaned for weeks, and never cooked food suitable for her health, even though she suffered from diabetes and high blood pressure. When she spoke to me, I brushed her off with, "I'm busy," or sometimes ignored her completely. She never complained, never told Omar about my behavior. She simply prayed for me in her heart, asking God to make me a better person. One day, Omar asked her how I was treating her. She smiled and said, "Thank God he gave me another daughter." Years went by, and Salma's health weakened. She hid her pain, spending her days reading and praying in her room. I would place her meals outside her door, knocking loudly so she would come out. One afternoon, she called me into her room. I went reluctantly. She looked at me gently and said, "My daughter, I know living with me is hard. I forgive you for everything. If I made mistakes, may God forgive me." I replied coldly, "I did nothing wrong. You stayed in your room. The house is fine." She sighed, a tear slipping down her cheek, and whispered, "Yes, you did nothing, and that is the hardest kind of coldness." Not long after, she closed her eyes and never opened them again. Within hours, she was in a coma. The doctors told us there was little time left. I broke down, holding her cold hand, begging her to forgive me. I wished I could go back and love her as a true daughter, but time doesn't turn back. That night, Salma passed away, quietly, without burdening anyone with her pain. Years later, my son Adam married a kind woman named Sarah. They couldn't afford a place of their own, so I welcomed them into my home. But soon, I noticed the same coldness I had once given Salma. My favorite cup disappeared, my prayer rug wasn't clean, my meals were bland and without care. Sarah told me to get my own washing machine, to clean my own room, and to stay out of the kitchen. I stayed silent. Days turned into months. My friend asked how I could live like this, and I told her with tears, "This is fair punishment. Life has a way of returning what you give. Kindness brings kindness. Coldness brings coldness, even if it comes years later." Now, I live in a big house that feels like a prison. No one checks on me, no one brings me warm food. Adam doesn't notice, Sarah doesn't smile, and I keep quiet. Every night, I kneel in prayer, asking God to forgive me as Salma once did. I pray that my suffering cleanses my sins, and that He shows me mercy when I stand before Him.